This is where it happens. With a smile, a skillful touch, a thoughtful look, the morning rush, an evening stroll, out in the cold but always warm. We are the Frontline. Hear us. See how we work together. With Chromebooks in our hands, we'll be faster, more connected, and better informed. We'll keep going the distance, and we'll always have your back, because we are the Frontline.
Hello, and welcome to Cloud on Air, live webinars from Google Cloud. We're hosting webinars daily. My name is Laura Jones, and I'm from the Chrome Enterprise team. And today, we'll be talking about how to turn your frontline workers into cloud workers. You can ask questions anytime on the platform, and we have Googlers on standby to answer them. Let's get started. So first, you might be wondering, well, what's a cloud worker? So let's start out there. Now, it's fair to say that the cloud has fundamentally changed the way that many of us interact with technology in our personal lives. We're used to a world where at a click of the button, I can stream music or movies to any device that I want. I can order up a car to meet me exactly where I am and take me exactly where I'm going. It's technology that works instantly, that's easy to use, that's seamless across all of my devices. And all of this interaction with cloud technology in our personal lives has raised the expectations for the way that technology should work at work. And there's many employees today that are using cloud technology to do the vast majority of their work, and they're preferring that as well. And we call these workers cloud workers. And they make up today about 25% of the employee population, but we think that that's just going to grow over time. These cloud workers value speed, convenience, collaboration, and fluidity of work. They want to be able to work wherever, whenever they like. Now, when you think about a cloud worker, you might think, okay, I know who these people are. They work in technology. They're probably in marketing. But the fact is that cloud workers span beyond traditional role segments. It's not about where you work, but about how you work. And we think that one segment of the workforce that could benefit the most from cloud technology, and perhaps could be the easiest to move to cloud technology, are frontline workers. So let's talk about what we mean when we say frontline workers. These are the workers that are building the products that people, customers interact with. They're the people in front of customers who are impacting the brand every single day. And they're often deskless. They're cashiers, nurses, call center agents, people on the manufacturing line. 80% of the global workforce is deskless, and many of these deskless workers are frontline workers. Frontline workers build up a wealth of knowledge from the routine and essential services that they provide every day. And this is knowledge that is critical for a headquarters, for a brand to be able to tap into. They're the backbone of the company, and they're the face of the company. Whether they're building the product or directly in front of customers, frontline workers have a direct impact on the customer experience, which impacts the bottom line too. Think about the last time you had an interaction with a brand. You were probably interacting with a frontline worker. You were at a restaurant and had great service. You were speaking to a call center agent and had maybe bad service. How did that impact the way that you thought about that brand? The reality is that it probably had a lot more impact than the advertisements that we see every day. And This brand interaction is extremely important to the business. According to HBR, customers who have positive experiences spend 140% more with the brand than those who don't. But even though they have this outsized impact, frontline workers are often left behind and their full potential remains largely untapped because of it. According to another HBR survey, only 12% of leaders believe their organizations invest sufficiently enough in the frontline managers who are the people training and making sure that the frontline workers, that the servers, that the call center agents are able to do their jobs well. And frontline workers who have to deal with a lot of communication don't feel like they have the tools to be able to manage that communication. And even more, 75% of frontline workers feel their employers aren't telling them enough about the changes in policies and goals. So think about that. If these are the people that are meant to represent your brand and they don't know enough about what's going on at the company and what the company's mission is, they can't do their jobs as effectively as they should be able to be. We've also seen that they're being left behind by technology. We did a survey at Google where we asked information workers and frontline workers whether the technology in their workplace has changed over the past 5 years. And what we found is that information workers, 70% of them said yes. And I think that's pretty standard. But when we asked frontline workers, only 50% of them said yes. And think about how much technology has changed over the past 5 years. And only 1 in 2 frontline workers are benefiting from the technology advances that information workers have seen. So the disengagement that comes because frontline workers aren't getting enough investment, aren't getting the right technology, it has a high price for companies and for the economy as a whole. According to a McKinsey study, frontline workers are more pessimistic than their managers about leadership and motivation. And we've also seen, just as a standard, that store employees' turnover was 65%, much higher than the industry average. That turnover, coupled with potentially lost revenue because a frontline worker isn't as informed about something that they need to be, that all can create disengaged employees that cost the US economy between $483 to $605 billion in lost productivity every year. So it's a real problem. So we've talked about the outsized impact that frontline workers have, and we've talked about the fact that they might not be getting enough investment. So it's clear to us at Google that digitally empowered frontline workers aren't a luxury, but they're a necessity in today's fast-paced moving digital economy. And we think that cloud can unlock the potential of this workforce. On one hand, it creates a better employee experience by giving employees more information that they need to do their job, by ensuring that they're engaged and connected with the organization. And those happy employees are then able to provide better customer service and experience. Along with that, cloud technology can be used for things like personalization or better processes that make it smoother for the customer to interact with your brand. Things like self-service, for instance. And cloud has stronger security and increased value. Chrome Enterprise, the OS, devices, and browser, is the right choice for your organization when thinking about how to put the power of the cloud in the hands of your frontline workers. It has benefits for both workers and for your business. For frontline workers, it can increase access to information. You can put applications through the Google Play Store into the hands of your frontline workers. They can access applications via the web browser. And if you use VDI for both desktop and app virtualization, that works with Chrome devices as well. Chrome devices are fast and familiar. One of the things that we hear a lot when talking to our customers is that frontline workers might not be as digitally savvy as an information worker, and so they need something that's really easy to onboard for employees, Also, they're onboarding a lot of employees at a time, so they need something, again, that's easy to use. Chrome OS is built on a browser foundation, and people know how to use a browser, so it's just quick and instant for them to use. And there's a versatility of devices for any use case that you need them for. For your business, Chrome Enterprise is secure by design, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. It's also easy to share and manage. And the big benefit here is frontline workers are in a bunch of different locations, spread out, not always at headquarters and able to interact with IT. And so when IT can remotely manage, they can scale. And we've heard from a lot of our customers that they can go from 200 to 600 employees over time while maintaining the same set of IT resources because it's that easy to manage. And Chrome Enterprise is a smart investment. So let's talk about the benefits to the frontline workers first. First of all, it helps them get their valuable time back. Now, we've all been there where we're waiting for our device to boot or we're waiting for an update to happen, and that's lost productivity time. Chromebooks boot in 6 seconds or less. I just open up my laptop and I can get to work right away. This is one of, for me personally, the best things about Chromebooks. And updates happen in the background, so I don't have to sit there waiting for 30 minutes, waiting for that progress bar to go around for my update to start, for me to get back to work. It just happens seamlessly. I don't even know what's happening, but I know my device is secure. And cloud-based profiles enable a consistent experience across any device. So I can be a mobile worker walking a hospital floor, and I can log in to any device that's near me with my cloud profile, and I get the experience that I need. Or if I've lost my device or my device is broken, I just pick up another Chromebook, sign in, and I'm ready to get working. And with on-device AI and ML, I can also find my applications much faster. That way I have the information in front of me that I need to do my job. And Chrome devices have a wide variety of form factors and come from all the major OEMs. So there's tablets for a store associate who's roaming the floors and helping out customers. There's clamshells and convertible devices for employees who need a device in a stationary location or mobile workers. And there's, of course, desktops for those employees who are at a desk all day, like a call center employee. And all Chrome devices come with a standard 10+ hours of battery life, which means I can be working all day long without having to charge my device. And we have form factors that are more rugged and tough for those environments that need a solution like that. So let's talk about the security of Chrome Enterprise. This is an area that our engineering teams spend a lot of time focused on. From the firmware all the way through the applications, Chromebooks, Chrome OS, and Chrome browser are secure by design with multiple layers of security. This way, employees don't fall to harmful attacks like malware attacks, and if one does prevail, it prevents that from spreading across the OS with things like sandboxing and site isolation. And with verified boot, I'm ensured that a tampered OS never boots up on my operating system. And if you didn't know, there are actually 2 operating systems on a Chrome device. So when I boot up my machine, if one has been tampered with, it'll seamlessly boot up the other OS in the background. And this is great because we hear a lot from IT departments that they want to make sure frontline workers have a really secure device because, first of all, they're hourly employees, there is turnover, but also frontline workers are working with a lot of customer and patient data, and it's really important that that data remains secure and that these employees don't fall for harmful attacks like phishing or malware. And then, of course, there's regular and controlled updates that happen in the background. Every 6 weeks, you can push an update to your employees. You don't have to worry about them accepting the update or not. It just happens seamlessly in the background. And with the Chrome Enterprise license, you can manage your entire fleet of devices. There's 200+ user and device policies, so you can make sure that your employees only have access to the applications that they need, that it's preloaded with the information that you want it to have. You could even do things like lock down the on-device drive so that employees can't save any information to the actual device, and it's secure in the cloud. And the Chrome Enterprise license allows you to work with your current infrastructure. So integrating with things like your enterprise mobility management solution or the identity that you choose to have. And of course, it comes with 24/7 support. Now, one of the areas in IT management that Google and our customers have seen lots of benefits for are in significant deployment and support savings. So Google has a mixed ecosystem. We use Windows devices, Mac OS, and of course, Chrome OS. And what our internal teams have seen is that a Chrome OS device takes 33 minutes to deploy compared to 2 hours and 21 minutes with a Windows device. Think about all the devices that you have to deploy over a period of time. That's significant savings for the IT department. And then when we look at support savings, there's only 19 tickets for Chrome OS for every 1,000 active devices compared to 95 for Windows. So less things are going wrong on the Chrome OS devices that the IT department has to handle. The other really special thing about Chrome OS is the unparalleled multi-user experience. So this means a few things. One, I can securely share devices between users through encrypted cloud profiles. If I'm using ephemeral mode, as soon as an employee signs out of the device is wiped, and it's then ready for the next employee to sign into. And this is really important when you think about the fact that frontline workers could be sharing one device up to 10 employees using that device. And you don't have to worry about anything being left on the device when the next person signs in. It also means that I can flexibly configure my devices for whatever use case that I need in an instant. So I could take this Chromebook today and use it for customer self-service and manage guest mode, and I could deploy it in a few hours to an information worker who needs to use it for their regular business. And I can sign into any Chromebook to pick up where I've left off. So I talked about this before, but if my device were to break, I could just pick up another Chromebook, sign in, use it instantly, and be productive. Now, all of this, the productivity from the end user, the decreased IT resources needed, as well as the hardware and software cost avoidance, that adds up to big benefits for the business. We conducted a total economic impact study with Forrester, and according to the composite organization using shared Chromebook devices, they realized over 3 years 1.5 million in hardware and software cost avoidance, 3.5 million in employee productivity gains, and a 75% improvement in IT productivity. Now, depending on your use case, you might also want to add on a productivity suite. And Chromebook works with anything that you need it to, but we recommend, of course, G Suite to help with collaboration and communication. Using Drive and Docs, Sheets, and Slides, you can share information to your employees, and they can easily consume it in the cloud. And they can also share information back. And it's really important to have that two-way communication between frontline workers and HQ, because again, they have that wealth of information and knowledge about what's going on. And then with things like Gmail, Hangouts, and the new product Currents, you can also make sure that you're having that two-way communication and keeping employees engaged. And with the Google Admin Council, you can manage both Chromebooks and G Suite from the same place. And G Suite is built with powerful Google search and AI, so it's faster to get things done. The solution that brings this all together, one of the new solutions that we introduced a few months ago with our partners, is Grab and Go with Chrome Enterprise. Now, we developed this here at Google as a loaner program, so if my device breaks down, I go to a shelf stacked with Chromebooks, I pick up a Chromebook, I sign in, I use it for the day, no interaction with IT needed, and then when I'm done with it, I simply mark that I'm returning it, sign out, put it back on the shelf, and then it's ready for the next person to pick up, again, no IT involvement needed. This means that I have 24 access to that and that it saves IT a bunch of time and expense. So this is used for a loaner program, but you can imagine using it for a shift worker. A call center employee comes in, they pick up the device they need. When they're done, the next shift starts, and they can pick up those same devices. That helps you have less devices on hand. It also saves IT money and time in getting those shift workers the devices that they need. So I've talked a lot about Chrome Enterprise and the benefits that it has for frontline workers. Now I want to go through some actual use cases and customers that we have seen implement Chrome devices to their frontline workers. So let's start with the first one of digitizing engagement and training. I think we all know how important training is, but it can be difficult when you have a decentralized employee base. So think about people who are working in a retail environment, for instance. They don't have access to come into HQ when they need training. So you need to be able to deploy training to these employees. And a lot of employees don't have one-to-one devices to just be able to do that training on their own time. So you can either have a pool of devices, and we see a lot of customers actually start with Chromebooks here because it's an isolated environment that they can put these devices in without a lot of change management. We also see retail and food service companies have these devices in the back office, which then allows employees to go to the back of the office when they have a chance, get their training, fill out their HR paperwork, do other things along those lines on those back office devices. And one of those customers is Panda Express. Panda Express recently adopted Chromebooks in its back office so that its employees could get training to make your favorites like orange chicken and Kung Pao chicken so that they have a consistent experience across every single one of their locations. And these employees can use it for training. They can also use the same device to log into their Office 365 environment if they need to do more productivity-oriented tasks. And they worked with their partner, their channel partner, to create an application that allows employees to use these training modules offline because some of the locations have Wi-Fi that isn't as consistent as others. Another area that we've seen a lot of adoption is improving back-of-house processes. So think about manufacturers on the line who need the latest product specs, or people who are in a warehouse who are shipping and need that information about what they need to be shipping really instantly and seamlessly. A lot of this is actually today being done on paper-based processes. And that's just simply insecure, and it also causes things to be out of date. I mean, there's only so many times you can update a paper before you give it to a shift worker, and things could even change during a shift. So one of our customers, Sanmina, they're a global manufacturing and supply chain company. They manufacture a variety of products, including intensive care unit monitors. And it's really important for them to have version control for these types of ICU monitors because they're critical, right? So they moved all 75 of their factories from a paper-based manufacturing to Chrome devices. And now I'm going to show you a video of how Sanmina has done this.
Sanmina is a world-class global manufacturing and supply chain company. You may never have heard of us, but the products we build are extremely high reliability. Whether it's a warfighter or it's someone in ICU in the hospital, people's lives depend on them. If something happens, we need to be able to understand how that product was built. 20 years ago, you had a lot of information, but none of it was useful. It was sorting through file cabinets and folders and paper. One of the biggest transformations for us on our manufacturing floor was going from paper-based manufacturing process instructions to a cloud-based system. The importance of document control is huge when you build high reliability product. Today, we have everything stored safely and smartly in the cloud. So Chrome is a cloud-first operating system that powers our operations. A Chrome-based system is much better than where we were previously. The hardware is cheaper, and also the cost of data security is a piece that you can't even quantify. Within Sanmina, we've got 75 factories. It's hard to walk around a factory in Thailand and a factory in Ireland in the same day. With Chrome OS and 42Q being closely integrated throughout our factories, we're able to do real-time data analytics anywhere in the world. They really are the backbone of everything we do at Sanmina. And Chrome OS is the operating system that runs on. So Chrome is empowering everyone to be a cloud worker. With the help of Chrome OS, we're a lot more efficient and a lot more secure than we were before. When you see the products we build that really do change people's lives, it makes it emotional and personal.
So let's talk about customer contact centers. These are highly important to having great customer service. If you think about when you're most recently called up a contact center, you were probably frustrated about some things. That's what led you to call them. But someone who's on the other line that's really knowledgeable, that can get you your information straight away, that could probably change the way that you think about that incident and help save the day for that brand. So it's important that contact centers have technology that's really easy to use, that is simple, and that's fast. And we've seen a lot of companies adopt Chrome Enterprise for their contact centers for these reasons. One of our customers, MercadoLibre, they're a company that operates online marketplaces. They were struggling with the Windows machines that they were using because of the long boot times. In fact, sometimes it would take up to 5 minutes to boot a device. And in an hourly shift environment, 5 minutes is just 5 minutes too long. So MercadoLibre, with the help of our partner Neverware, updated their existing hardware with Chrome OS. And now with the 6-second boot time, they're able to save 250 minutes per shift across all of their employees. It's a lot of time saved. It also helps the employees start their day off better, perhaps be happier. In addition to that, because of the cloud-native nature of the operating system, MercadoLibre can have their associates work from anywhere. So in case of a disaster or in case they lose power at their contact center headquarters, these associates are able to work from home using Chrome operating system because they can just sign in and get their entire profile there for them on whatever device that they have, whatever Chrome device that they have on hand. The next area that I want to talk about is front of house workers. So these are the workers that are in front of your employee or in front of your customers. They're the ones helping out, picking a dress for a special occasion or helping them sign up for a bank account in this instance. And Frontline front of house workers, they need technology at their fingertips right away to be able to help customers. We did a survey with Forrester that found one of the top pain points for frontline workers with technology is that they have to leave their customers in the middle of an interaction to go find information. Just makes for a bad experience for everyone. So you can put technology into the hands of your front of house workers, give them laptops or tablets on the floor, but you can also help them out by offloading some of that work onto customers with customer self-service. And in fact, a lot of customers like serving themselves before they need to talk to an associate. Charles Schwab did this. When they were introducing their new Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, they wanted to introduce a customer self-service solution into their branches that was easy to use for someone of any technical ability, that was easy to manage because they have lots of different branches, and they didn't want their associates to have to troubleshoot. And so they introduced Chrome devices as this solution. Now when someone walks into a branch and wants to learn more about these portfolios, an associate can hand them a Chromebook, they can explore the offerings, and then they can do the application straight from there. This helps cut down this time for the associate, and it also has helped to eliminate some common errors that might happen if you're doing two-way communication to fill out an application. The last one that I want to talk to you about today is information on the go. Now, think about field workers or mobile workers who need to be able to tap into a device wherever they are. They need a reliable device. They need a device that can give them the information they need very quickly. And nowhere else is this more apparent than for EMTs. In Middlesex Hospital, one of our customers, they were having trouble with the devices that they were using for their EMTs. They were breaking down a lot. They weren't available in those crucial seconds that EMTs need to get information. And so they adopted Chrome devices. And now I'm going to show you a video about how Middlesex has helped their EMT workers with Chrome devices.
We respond to approximately 10,000 911 calls a year. Instead of having to wait until the call is complete, we can get started immediately with a Chromebook.
The technology for us has to be patient-centric. To operate in the Chrome environment with no learning curve has been a huge advantage for us.
Healthcare IT is undergoing a bit of a shift for the last 15, 20 years. No longer do you have a $3,000 PC that was for a specific use case. Our on-call doctors, our EMS, they are roaming workers. The ability to easily hand off one device to multiple people without leaving a footprint of what they were working on or where they've been. It allows a great deal of flexibility.
What we're doing is bringing the emergency department to the patient. So our technology is critical. We've had 0 failures with the Chromebooks. When they open, they're on and they're ready to go. They definitely give us a better level of confidence when we're out in the field.
Google Cloud and Chrome provides us an opportunity to bring a modern, secure platform into the healthcare arena. And the Chrome integration with Citrix allows us to access our legacy applications. What Google is allowing us to do is put the focus back on our patients.
So if you like what you heard today and want to learn more about how Chrome Enterprise can help your frontline workers and hear about more case studies, please visit our website at g.co/chrome/frontlineworkers. We have a white paper there that you can read more about, and you can also get in touch with us for more information. So please stay tuned for live Q&A. We'll be back in less than a minute. Okay, and we're back with frequently asked questions. So the first one, can we invest in Chrome hardware while still maintaining our Office 365 environment? The answer is yes, you can. And I gave the example about Panda Express that's using Office 365 with their Chrome devices for their frontline workers. The thing that I would recommend is figure out how your employees are using Office 365. They can access the Android application and they can access the web version. If that's enough, and it should be enough for almost all frontline workers especially, then it should be as easy as just letting them access via the Android app or the web app. No special updates needed there. So yes, you can use Office 365 on a Chromebook. The second question, is there any way to restrict access so that employees only have access to certain applications? Yes, you can. So there are a few things to talk about here. One is managed Google Play Store. So you can whitelist and blacklist applications so that employees only have access to certain applications in Google Play, and then you can also blacklist so that they can't download. But often what our customers are doing is going even further than that, and you could very easily administer policies that lock a device down to just a few applications, and we see this happening a lot. So if you, for instance, are in a warehouse, we have a customer, Stitch Fix, who does this. They have certain applications that employees on the warehouse use for their day-to-day work, and then they also have applications for things like timesheets or any of the HR administration that they need to do as well. What are our options to have users sign in without an identity for temporary access? Well, I'm glad you asked. We have Managed Guest Session, and this allows people to sign in without using identity while still giving you full access to manage the device, the applications, and the browser. So we have our customers who are doing a lot of self-service with their own customers using Managed Guest Session. And you could also use it in those sorts of environments where maybe you have one device that's there for people to do more administration tasks where they don't need to use an identity. You can just set the device up with Managed Guest Session through the Google Admin Console. How do customers currently deal with offline capabilities or limited Wi-Fi situations? So I'll first start with one thing, which is to myth bust the fact that Chromebooks don't work offline. Chromebooks do work offline. I use mine often while I'm traveling on airplanes when I don't have access to great Wi-Fi. You can use G Suite, Gmail offline, and there's also certain applications that work offline. Some of our customers do a couple things. One, there are Chrome devices that are enabled with LTE, so that is an option. You could use a Wi-Fi hotspot, so that's something that Middlesex Hospital does for their EMTs. And then the customer example that I gave with Panda Express, they're using one of their partners to create an application for their training that works offline, and this way they don't have the dependency on Wi-Fi. And then the last question, Mac OS and Windows already provide regular updates, so what's the difference with Chrome OS? So Chrome OS not only provides regular updates, but one, it does it in the background. So this way you don't have to worry about your employees accepting those updates. They just happen. So you don't have that delay. You don't have to worry about the fact that someone has just been delinquent on updating their device. And they also happen every 6 weeks consistently. You can choose whether or not you want to implement those every 6 weeks, but if you do, that helps to mitigate any issues a lot quicker. So that's all the questions that we have. Thank you for tuning in. Please visit Cloud on Air to discover more content from Google Cloud experts. Thanks.